Hey guys, this is another one of my series of videos I'm making right now on how to attract women effectively. And gotten a lot of great responses and views on those so far. And thank you for everybody who's commented and the compliments that you gave me. One guy said my videos are like a breath of fresh air compared to other things online. And my response to him and to you guys is, I just try to lay it out as it is, the best I can, okay? From my own experience and my own research, many years of research on the dating game, more so even broad when it comes down to pair bonding in both humans and other species. I'm really interested in that over the years, and specifically humans, because, obviously we're human and that's important. It was important for my own development to learn these things. So I would like to share that with you in your own development. Because maybe, you know, out of 10, where would you rate yourself with women? 6, 5, 7 even? If it's below that, then I just suggest you at least listen to what I have to say. And this topic is one that's, okay, I don't hear a lot of guys talking about. I hear a lot of guys referring to, but actually making a video about this specific topic. I'll just get right into it. It's about flirting. Flirting. What comes to mind when you think of flirting? Just think about that for 1 second, okay? So, why is flirting so important? Because it's going to open the doors of her fortification, essentially, to you, okay? And if you look at it like metaphorically in a weird way as like a battle that's happening, because there are like bitch tests and there can be a bit of a dynamic that happens, breaking through those barriers, it's like we have siege weapons or something, like we're breaking into a castle, the walls down, bringing those walls down, opening her up. We do that through a series of weapons, but just strategies, and that is flirtation is definitely one to throw at her, okay, to do so. So generally when guys think about flirtation, it's about a generic compliment, which is one of the most basic. I wouldn't call it lowest form because it is so important. There's nothing low about it to give a nice generic compliment to somebody. It's a very nice thing to do. And a lot of guys don't even do that. But if that's the extent of your flirting game, I gotta break it to you, it's not sufficient. Okay? So, I made a video the other day about joking. So joking is a big part of the flirtatious game. But when it comes down to her, we're going to make jokes about her without being too, you got to gauge, like, nothing too offensive, at least not yet. Like, eventually you can up kind of the level of offense and more like, but in a funny way. And this is the thing, it's about playful banter. It's not just banter, it's playful banter, and it's light, very lighthearted, okay? So what that does is bring a bit of fun and excitement into your dynamic, and she's going to attach that emotions, which is within her, fun, excitement, with you. And that is one way that you build attraction and connection. And it keeps things interesting because, it keeps things unexpected. Unpredictable is a good word for that. If you become a very predictable guy, your attraction level goes down here. Somebody who's a bit more unpredictable, throwing things out there, who knows what's going to happen next. It doesn't mean you have to go overboard being unpredictable, but by flirtation, it can be, you can throw some things that might be unexpected. And compliments could be one, playful banter could be another one. And but the key thing is that you're going to poke fun of her in a charming way, not in a rude way, not in an insulting way, but one that gets her to respond, hopefully funny herself, laugh herself, okay? Because making a woman laugh is a key part. And if she does the same thing to you, like, you got to keep it lighthearted too in your response. Like, if you look like you get all flustered on that, then that's not good, right? Like, it's got to go both ways. Playful banter is flirting. Welcome to the world of flirting. So, if you're able to do it effectively, it shows that you're a very confident guy, and this helps bridge the gap between an attraction stage, which you've already hopefully initiated, and a more of a comfort building stage of things. You get comfortable with each other where you're comfortable enough where you're making fun of each other at that point. That's pretty comfortable. Now, I already mentioned the most basic form of flirtation, I would call it, is general compliment. Okay? Well, we can do other types of compliments, and compliments with a bit of a twist. I'll get exactly what those are in a second. But here's the thing. Compliments are essential because it shows that we are paying attention to them in a positive way, and we're giving some type of feedback to them, positive feedback, reinforcement, and that shows that you're interested in her, for one. You don't want to show too much interest that sometimes. Maybe I'll make a video about that because that's a bit of a tricky one. But you do want to compliment, so you do want to show interest still. And so there's the typical, oh, you're really beautiful, okay? If you meet a girl and, the first day you're with her and you tell her you're really beautiful, yeah, that's okay. But maybe something that's, again, a little bit more unexpected, complimenting her energy, her persona more. Something about her, not about her looks. Something about her that's unique. So it's good to have a good psychology base, because if you're able to point something out that's actually true about her, and it makes her think, it initiates a good response. Her energy, her style of clothing. I like to pick on personally things like either shoes or nails with women who, when I pay attention to, I can tell right away if a girl likes shoes. And most girls like shoes, okay? As well, that they manicure themselves well, having manicures, okay? With cool design. So often I will compliment things about her style or about a certain unique quality about her, not just a general thing, okay? And you can do this you can flirt with girls that you're not even interested in, and I just recommend starting there. Just get in the habit of flirting. Even if you're at some diner and there's a 6-year-old woman in there, say something nice about her nails or something if you notice she has nice nails or something. I don't know. That's my thing. That's my example. But be creative on that regard. Okay. So yeah, again, I just gotta reiterate that this shows that you're paying attention to her and that you are interested in her. Okay, showing interest. That's key. So next thing I got to mention is on what type of flirtation is through touch. Now I'm a massage therapist. Touch is kind of my forte, so to speak. Okay, and in massage we start with a very general touch, which is non-specific, and we go more and more specific. Okay. And more deep and more localized. And the same thing can be done with the level of touch you do from essentially first contact to going into more intimate touch. So you're going to start with some general touch in safe spots. So the knee is a safe spot. As long as it's not you're not inside her inner thigh, inner medial thigh we call it. But if you're on her knee, that's okay. If you put your hand on your knee, hand in hand is good. If you're walking, you're showing interest, you can grab her hand. If you're making, say we're talking about other flirtatious compliments and things, when you compliment, just put your hand on her knee or on her back or something. And I was going to mention this later. You can actually bridge the gap between different types of flirtations, and it becomes that much more effective. And touch is the one where you do that most effective. Say you just had a really good joke and you got her laughing, and you're bursting out laughing together. You put your hand on her knee and grab her knee a bit, right? Not weird in a weird way. Just it shows connection, because if you're going through the different stages of pair bonding without touch happening, then quite simply you're going to be grouped in her mind as being a friend, like friend zoned. Okay, automatically, even though you might have done everything else right, everything else. You're funny, you have money, you're a fit guy, you're nice to her, and you complimented her well, you flirted with her well. If you but you never initiate touch, where's that going? It's not going anywhere. So in the process of things, you got to start initiating touch, and like I said with the massage analogy, general touch and non-localized, like safe spaces, to more and more erogenous zones as things escalate. And when you paired those touches, eventually at that point, hopefully, with erogenous zones, with things like intimacy through conversations, where you're having intimate conversations and you're touching them in these areas, connections are like being built within her, and it's priming her for mating, essentially, at that point. Priming her to get together with her, at very least. Mating, it's a mating process, and that mating's the end goal. It's kind of the close of the sale, right? You open the sale, then you close it. Mating's not much different, because you're literally selling each other. You're selling yourself in the process, okay? And the same type of flirtation techniques can be used in sales as well. Similar ones anyway, such as, kind of subtle, playful banter and whatnot, okay? One thing that's another variable into flirting is if you maintain some type of mystery while doing so. Like, this might not be, there's not being mysteriously flirting. Like, that's kind of weird, right? But while you're flirting, if there's something mysterious about you that gets her thinking about you being mysterious, then that's going to raise questions within her, curiosity. Okay? The kitty's going to get a bit curious, and she's going to want to know more about you, which will initiate a drive within her, and hopefully a drive. If you can initiate that drive whilst her also being attracted to you, then it's just like there's a lot less work to do on your part at that point, because things will literally be falling on your lap at some point soon. Most likely, if you did everything correctly at that point. Because you've initiated attraction, you've initiated mystery, you've flirted with her, you've touched her, hopefully. She's going to potentially be throwing it. Not always. Some girls are more reserved than others. I don't want to overgeneralize, but they're going to be driven to want you at that point. And it'll be like pretty obvious at that point. Okay, I should make a video about signs a girl is into you or not. Specifically, if she's not, because a lot of guys don't get those cues. But if a girl's into you, that's an important thing too. And at this point, you got to recognize that. Okay. Maybe I was going to compliment about this. I'll just mention it that flirtation, it carries on into long-term relationships too. It's important in the initial attraction stages, important in comfort building stages, but you maintain flirtation even through the marriage itself, and that keeps that you're showing that you're always. It's like a never-ending courtship that happens, and that's kind of like what being in love is. You know what I mean? And that's what being a romantic guy is, because a romantic guy, it's always like he's showing romance to his women, and through flirtation can be very romantic. Like, I know when I'm with my girl on dates and things, I'm playful banter, touching, joking. You know what I mean? Everything complements everything that you should be doing initially still carries out, right? So I think it's something for a lot of guys to continue working on. And it's not just with your woman. Sometimes you flirt with other people too, and joke around. It's just it carries together, even though that you're not sexually interested in necessarily them, somebody like in your other aspects of life, like a coworker or somebody you interact with. But like, it still shows that you can be a fun guy, that you're still flirtatious in a way, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, well, I hope that the things I mentioned here with being flirtatious are things that maybe you knew about, but you're not implementing, or maybe there's a new thing that you considered here, a new angle of looking at things. That's often what my intention is trying to do here, is to show you guys a bit of a new angle at things, of something that is pretty common sense. Flirting is common sense. Everybody knows about that. But it's like, okay, and how to make it applicable it's also key, because it's one thing to know about it, but how do you utilize it is the next thing, right? So I hope you guys can add a little bit more maybe vibrance in your attraction game or your relationship game in general, and a little bit more excitement. That's fun. That'd be nice, right? In a good way, positive excitement through flirtation and touching, joking, everything I mentioned. Thank you for watching, guys. Thanks to you for all your comments. Feel free to leave a comment in this video. Always love reading every one of them. So hope everybody's doing well. And what are your thoughts about my flirtation? Is there something I missed? Yeah, I could probably talk about a few other things. But I think this is the essentials. This is the essential message I wanted to get across. So thank you for watching, guys. Peace.